Hi, I'm Harshad. This is my data store tech lead assessment submission and AI-powered CX reply assistant. The product help a customer support agent understand the conversation, retrieves the correct brand policy, generate a grounded response, retrieve it, and upload it. The demo uses a Nostar home conversation where the customer reports a broken delivery. Oh, yeah, that is the thing. Okay, let's go to the build and how it works. So let me go here. So on the first, the home screen, you will see a sign in and create account page. So if you are a new user, you need to do a create account process. Then you will get a verification email from the supervisor. You need to verify yourself first. Then you will directly redirect it to the home page, but I already did that. So let me just do a sign in here. So you could say you can see after sign in, the agent enters the Nostar home workspace and opens the conversation with Maya Patel. The conversation view shows the customer channel, message history, latest customer message, and order details on the right. So you can see reply assistance keeps the agent in control. So when I click generate grounded reply, the AI system reads the latest customer messages, identifies the relevant brand, retrieves matching policy, evidence, applies guardrails, and generate a suggested response. So you can see this response just get generated. The agent can edit and draft, you can see, and also he can regenerate it. And there is a inspect retrieval policy context and upload it button also there. So approval records the final response and audit information. The application does not send a real WhatsApp or email message. It stops at the approval outbox and audit boundary. And I also included guardrail scenario where the customer asks for a refund after 20 days because the policy, but yeah, because the policy, allows refund only within 7 days. So what this assistant will do, it avoids promising a report and recommend a human review. Yeah, here you can see it is generated, but also recommend a human review recommended. That is the workflow that I implemented. Okay, this is the representation. I will go through the architecture. So here is you the code base, all those things. So on the front end, I use React TypeScript White and Elvin CSS application organized as a monorepo under app slash web. So this is the front end code. You can see the components, data, hooks, library, app.css, and all those things, app.tss. This is the main entry point. Okay, let's go through the backend. So the backend uses Supabase edge functions as a API boundary. So let me just expand the Supabase. You can see Supabase functions where it handles authentication, requests, validation, brand authorization, retrieval, AI orchestration, approval, and activity logging. Yeah. Okay. Let me go through a walkthrough about the database. So let me just expand the migration. So Supabase PostgreSQL stores the workspace membership, conversation, message, orders, policies, generation, approvals, and outbox records. Database migrations contains the schema, indexes, RLS policy, and RPCs. So the current retrieval path uses tenant filtering. Let me just expand the functions again. Yeah, tenant filtering PostgreSQL retrieve with an process quadrant compatibility adapter for assessment demo. The interface can later be connected to the persistent quadrant infrastructure for larger knowledge base. You can see this is the quadrant HTS right now that I created. Okay, let's talk about key technical decisions. First decision was to keep provider secrets on the backend. The browser only receives the Supabase URL and the publish key. So if I expand this and I will show you the Ex- environment.example which has only two things, and open outer provider and service role key credential remains in the supervised edge function secret. So let me just show that as well. So here's all the things that mentioned here. Okay, the second decision was to enforce authorization at multiple boundaries. The backend does not trust the brand ID supplies by the client. It verifies the authentication user's workspace membership, checks the conversation real brand, applies RLS, and filters retrieved knowledge by that brand. Yeah. So let me just the payload we are sending, but all those things go. And the third decision was to keep edge functions entry point thin and move shared schemas, types, repositories, and services into reusable backend models. So if I expand this model, you can see repositories, schemas, services, and types. And I also added idempotency for generation and approval action, explicit error handling, deterministic demo fallback behavior, audit logging, and an outbox contract for future delivery workers. Yeah. Okay, so the next step will be how the AI is implemented. So the AI does not receive an unrestricted prompt. So the backend builds a bounded context for the latest customer message, relevant conversation facts, order information, and retrieve brand policy. The prompt instructs the model to stay within the supplied evidence, avoid unsupported promises, ask for clarification when information is missing, and recommend human review when policy eligibility is uncertain. So the response also carries metadata such as the generated model. So if I open the preview, you can see generation model, model retriever policy, human review requirement, and generation ID. This makes it possible to distinguish a live provider response from a deterministic demo response or a set callback. The agent must retrieve and approve the draft, and a generated response is never treated as an autonomous send customer messages. So you can see all the UI things that we are mentioned here. So you can see I can edit the suggested draft, regenerate it, or upload it. After the approval, the UI shows that the response was approved and logged, and the activity outlook for the records and the action for auditability. This demonstrates the complete assessment flow, conversation context, knowledge retrieval, grounded generation, guardrails, editing approval, and audit lagging. So I can show you the audit lagging. So we are keeping all the audits logging here as a activity log. Then we have this guardrail where we are mentioning all those things. Managed team is an extra feature that I'm maintaining. This is the save reply that also we can use in the reply assistant. This is you can see, and there is a all conversation. This is those two all conversation. So one improvement with more time, I will think I would move generation and outbound deliveries in duration queue backed workers and connect retrieve to persistent horizontally scalable quadrant infrastructure. I would also add a larger evaluation set and load test so model quality, queue behavior, latency, and tenant isolation and cost could be measured continuously at production scale. So yeah, that is the CX reply assistant and agent control brand guarded workflow with explicit authorization, guardrails, and an audit ready approval boundary. Thank you.